Men over 40, 50, even 60 years old still carry deep fears whenever they hear the word testosterone. Some of the most common questions I get sound like this. If I start testosterone, will it give me prostate cancer? Won't it make my urinary symptoms worse? And once I start, am I locked in for life? The truth? Most of these beliefs are myths. They're not supported by modern science, but they continue to circulate because of outdated warnings, old studies, and internet misinformation. Here's what I want you to understand from the very beginning. Testosterone does not cause prostate cancer. Testosterone does not worsen urination. And in many cases, testosterone therapy improves energy, mood, and overall health far beyond just the bedroom. This video is not about hype, and it's not about selling quick fixes. It's about separating fear from fact, so that men like you can make informed decisions about your health. Because here's the reality: sexual health is overall health. Low testosterone is rarely just about libido. It can signal deeper issues like diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, or even depression. So if you're a man over 40 and you've ever worried about your testosterone, stay with me. Over the next few parts, we'll uncover the biggest myths, the hidden benefits, and the practical steps that can change the trajectory of your health. For decades, one of the biggest fears men have had is this: if I take testosterone, it will fuel prostate cancer. This belief is so widespread that even today, many patients hesitate to begin therapy, worried they're signing their own death warrant. But here's the truth: modern science has put this myth to rest. In 2018, the American Urological Association, AUA, released updated guidelines after reviewing all the evidence. Their conclusion was crystal clear. Testosterone therapy does not increase the risk of prostate cancer. That statement was given as a strong recommendation. So where did the myth come from? In the past, early studies suggested a link between testosterone and prostate cancer growth. But those studies were flawed, based on limited data and outdated medical understanding. Unfortunately, their warnings were printed in drug package inserts, and many of those inserts still haven't been updated today. This is why patients remain confused. They read the fine print, they see the word cancer, and they panic. Here's what you need to know. Testosterone is not a carcinogen. In fact, low testosterone has been associated with worse health outcomes, including obesity, diabetes, and even higher mortality risk. So the next time someone tells you testosterone causes prostate cancer, remember this: the leading experts in men's health worldwide no longer see it as a risk. And clearing up this myth is step one. Because until men stop fearing cancer, they won't be open to the real benefits of testosterone therapy. Another common fear I hear all the time is this: if I start testosterone, my urinary symptoms will get worse. This concern comes from the fact that many prescription inserts still include a warning: testosterone may worsen urinary problems such as frequency, urgency, or weak stream. But here's the reality: modern clinical trials do not support this. Take the TRAVERSE trial, one of the largest and most carefully designed studies we have. Thousands of men were given testosterone therapy and compared with a placebo group. Every single participant filled out detailed questionnaires about urination. And the result? No significant difference between men on testosterone and men on placebo. In other words, testosterone did not make urinary symptoms worse. In fact, some studies go further. Long-term testosterone therapy may actually improve urinary health. Why? Because low testosterone contributes to central obesity and metabolic problems, both of which worsen urinary symptoms over time. Correcting testosterone levels can improve overall metabolism, reduce inflammation, and indirectly help bladder function. So let's be clear. There is no credible evidence that testosterone therapy worsens urination. And for many men, it may even be part of the solution. This matters because fear keeps men away from treatment. And the longer men avoid addressing low testosterone, the more likely they are to suffer from obesity, diabetes, bone loss, and depression. That's why it's critical to separate old warnings from current science. When most people hear the word testosterone, they immediately think of muscles, sex drive, and energy. But what often gets overlooked are the powerful hidden benefits testosterone can bring to a man's overall health. Let's break it down. Metabolic health. Low testosterone is strongly linked with obesity and type 2 diabetes. Restoring healthy levels can improve blood sugar control and reduce belly fat. Bone health. Testosterone is critical for bone mineral density. Without it, men face a much higher risk of osteoporosis and fractures as they age. Mental health. This one doesn't get talked about enough. Low testosterone is frequently associated with depression and low mood. Here's a striking example. In 2011, researchers studied 850 men with low testosterone. At the start, 92% had some degree of depression and 17% had severe depression. After just 1 year of testosterone therapy, the number with severe depression dropped from 17% all the way down to 2%. Even men who were already taking antidepressants reported further improvements in mood when testosterone was added. That suggests a kind of synergy, not a cure, but an important piece of the puzzle. And beyond mood, many men report clearer thinking and less brain fog. That makes sense. There are androgen receptors in the brain, and testosterone plays a role in cognition. So when we talk about testosterone, it's not just about sex. It's about diabetes, obesity, bones, mood, and even brain health. And that's why these benefits deserve far more attention. Now let's talk about a frustrating reality that some men face. Imagine this. Your testosterone starts out low, maybe around 200 non-DL. You begin therapy, and within a few months, your levels climb up to 700 or 800. On paper, that looks perfect. But here's the problem. You still feel tired, your mood is low, your motivation hasn't come back, and your libido isn't what you hoped for. Does that mean testosterone doesn't work? Not necessarily. It means testosterone may not be the whole story. Here's why. The symptoms of low testosterone and depression overlap almost perfectly. Low energy, weight gain, poor sleep, low libido, difficulty concentrating. They can all show up in both conditions. The same goes for thyroid disorders. Hypothyroidism can mimic low testosterone almost symptom for symptom. So if your levels improve, but your symptoms don't, the next step isn't to double the testosterone dose. The next step is to screen for depression, thyroid problems, or other underlying conditions. This is where many men, and even some doctors, go wrong. They focus so narrowly on testosterone that they miss the bigger picture. The takeaway is simple. Testosterone therapy can be life-changing, but it's not a magic bullet. If symptoms persist, dig deeper. Sometimes the missing piece isn't more testosterone. It's addressing another root cause. One of the most important messages I can share is this. Every man over 40 should have his testosterone checked once a year. Think about it. When you go for an annual physical, your doctor probably checks your thyroid, cholesterol, and blood pressure. But here's the reality. Thyroid problems are relatively rare, while low testosterone is extremely common. And unlike thyroid numbers, testosterone levels are one of the best indicators of overall male health. Here's the key point. It's not just about the absolute number today. It's about the drop from your personal baseline. Let's say a man starts at 800 NDL in his 30s. Years later, he's down to 350. On paper, 350 might still fall within the normal range. But compared to his baseline, that's a dramatic decline. and he's going to feel it. Another man may have always been around 600 Ning DL and drops to 350. He'll notice changes too, but not nearly as severe. This is why having a baseline testosterone measurement is so valuable. Without it, you have no idea how far you've fallen. So just like you track blood pressure or blood sugar, testosterone deserves a place on your annual health checklist. It's not just a number, it's a window into your vitality, your metabolism, and even your long-term health risks. When it comes to evaluating a man's overall health, there are 3 powerful markers that give us more insight than almost anything else: testosterone levels, semen analysis, erectile function. Let's break them down. First, testosterone. It reflects energy, metabolism, bone health, and sexual function. A decline can signal much more than just low libido. It can be a red flag for diabetes, cardiovascular disease, or depression. Second, semen analysis. This test isn't only about fertility. Research shows that men with poor semen quality are more likely to suffer from obesity, heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers. In fact, a weak semen profile today can predict health problems years into the future. Third, erectile dysfunction, ED. Many men see it as just a bedroom issue, but ED is often an early warning sign of hidden cardiovascular disease. Studies have shown that within 7 years of developing ED, 15% of men will experience a heart attack or stroke. That's huge. Together, these 3 markers act like a health dashboard for men. Testosterone, semen quality, and erections don't just tell us how a man is functioning sexually. They tell us how healthy he is right now and what risks may be waiting down the road. That's why I call them the big 3 indicators of male health. Here's something most people don't realize. Sexual health is often the first gateway to a man's overall health. Think about it. Men in their 20s and 30s almost never schedule annual checkups. By their 40s, maybe half of them see a doctor occasionally. But here's the exception. The moment a man develops erectile problems, he's in a doctor's office the very next morning. That's an opportunity, and it's one we cannot afford to miss. Erectile dysfunction isn't just a sexual issue. It's often the earliest visible warning sign of deeper health problems like diabetes, high cholesterol, or cardiovascular disease. Big studies prove this. In one US study of almost 2 million men, about 30% of young men aged 18 to 40 who presented with ED already had prediabetes or diabetes at the time of diagnosis. Other research shows that within 7 years of ED onset, 15% of men will experience a heart attack or stroke. That means ED isn't just about performance, it's about prevention. It's a red flag that can save lives if doctors and patients take it seriously. So when a man walks in with erectile issues, the worst mistake is simply handing him a Viagra prescription and sending him home. The right approach is to dig deeper. Check the heart, check the blood sugar, check the cholesterol. Because sexual health isn't separate from overall health. Sexual health is health. Let's be honest. Too often, the first response to erectile dysfunction is a prescription. A man walks in with ED and he leaves with Viagra or Cialis. Problem solved, right? Not exactly. Because here's the truth. Viagra is like Vicodin for a broken leg. It may let you walk today, but it doesn't fix the fracture. That's how we treat ED in medicine right now, with symptom control instead of root cause reversal. But here's the exciting part. Lifestyle changes can actually reverse erectile dysfunction. Just 150 minutes of exercise per week has been shown to improve erections as much as taking Viagra. Weight loss and better nutrition improve blood vessel health, which directly impacts erectile function. Quitting smoking and reducing alcohol use dramatically improve blood flow, and erections depend on blood flow. Now, medications do have a role. For example, daily low-dose tadalafil, Cialis, has been shown to improve erectile function, support urinary health, BPH, protect the heart by improving the lining of blood vessels. One major study even showed a 13% lower risk of heart attack in men who took daily tadalafil compared to those who didn't. But the key message is this: pills alone won't save you. If you only mask the problem, the disease keeps progressing until the pill no longer works. The real solution? Fix the root causes with exercise, nutrition, and lifestyle, and use medication as a tool, not a crutch. So let's step back and put it all together. For years, men have been told that testosterone is dangerous, that it causes prostate cancer, that it worsens urination, that it's something to fear. But today, the evidence is clear. Those fears are myths. Here's the truth. Testosterone is not the enemy. In fact, healthy levels protect your metabolism, bones, mood, and even your brain. If your symptoms don't improve on therapy, it doesn't mean testosterone doesn't work. It means it's time to look deeper at depression, thyroid, or other health issues. Every man over 40 should check his testosterone annually, because without a baseline, you can't know how far you've declined. And together with semen analysis and erectile function, testosterone is one of the 3 most powerful markers of a man's overall health. Most importantly, remember this: sexual health is overall health. Erectile dysfunction isn't just a bedroom problem. It can be the first sign of heart disease or diabetes. Treating ED with a pill and sending a man home is a missed opportunity. The real solution is this: address the root causes. Lifestyle, exercise, nutrition, and preventive care will do more for your erections and your lifespan than any pill ever could. So don't fear testosterone. Understand it. Track it. Use it as a tool to protect your health. Because the better you take care of your sexual health, the better you take care of your future.